what do we have now? We're just rolling right along.
It's time for the JV Sports Show Superfan of the Week.
Joining us on the Superfan of the Week hotline, we have with us Carefree Arizona resident, and this guy's been in Arizona for years, for over 50 years. Tom Cross. Tom, you there?
I'm here.
Tom, good morning, sir. How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
Good. So Tom is our Superfan of the Week this week, and Tom is a good friend of mine. Serves on the Planning and Zoning Commission. He's a contractor by trade. Knows a lot about water sustainability. But the big thing that he's known for is that he's a diehard ASU Sun Devil fan, but he's also a hockey guy. This guy plays hockey, and he knows hockey. Grew up where in Minnesota are you from, Tom?
Little town, St. Paul Park, Minnesota.
Okay, and you grew up around that, which fits perfectly with the theme of our show with the small colleges. Very familiar with St. John's University out there, and so you kind of follow that, but you also follow ASU hockey. You want to introduce our next special guest here, and stay on the line with us as well.
It would be a most pleasure.
Okay.
Because first I'd like to introduce. I'd like to think that I played on the first club team for ASU back in 1968 when I first arrived here. It was more like a beer league. It was over at Thomas Mall, which is now called Arcadia Plaza.
Or Tower Plaza, actually, back then. But, yeah, Arcadia Crossing, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Crossings, I guess.
Yep.
It was one of only two indoor rinks in the state of Arizona at the time. The other was the State Coliseum.
Yep.
And about 40% of us were students at ASU. Another 25% were college graduates from the East Coast, places like Cornell and St. Lawrence and places like that had played college hockey. And so it made it pretty good. So it was quite exciting to see ASU finally getting into it.
Yeah, and, to where we are now with today's guest.
Yeah, with that, I'd like to introduce Greg Powers, who has been on board with 12 seasons at ASU and is fifth as a head coach and has taken it from, let's call it AAA League to Division I. And this year, preseason, their rank is 20th.
Nice.
And he has done one heck of a job. Of course, recruiting here, I say this a little bit of chuckle, might not be all that difficult. All you have to do is bring these players in from all over the world about January, February, and March, and parade them around the campus at the same time. And as a former hockey player, I say, this is all right. I can walk around the campus in shorts between practices.
There you go.
And then look at all the nice people walking around to boot. And anyhow, Greg has done a phenomenal job, and it'll be most interesting to hear from him.
Coach Powers, so there you go. There's your lead-in, and Tom Cross is your new recruiting coordinator. I think he solved the problem for you. Now you can recruit on campus.
Wow.
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. Tom, it's great to hear from you, and obviously it's really cool to hear from somebody who was on the very first club team that ever played at ASU. So that was a great introduction, and I very much appreciate it.
Coach, give us a little bit of your history now. Obviously, Tom said you've been around for 12 years, been the head hockey coach there for 5. Bringing hockey to ASU, what was that experience like?
You know, people say that, we obviously brought it at the Division I level, but it goes so much further back than that. I was the head coach of the club team for 5 years prior to that, assistant for 2 prior to that, and then I played club hockey from 95 to 99, and it was all the people like Tom and the people that followed him thereafter that just kept grinding it out and growing the sport in the desert, growing the sport at our university. And it kind of came to the head when we won a national championship at the club level in 2013-14.
Wow.
And we beat Penn State's Division I team. It just raised awareness and gained the financial support of some really well-to-do guys that wanted to see us elevate, and $32 million later, the largest gift in the history of ASU athletics, we elevated, and here we are.
Coach Powers, thanks for coming on here with us this morning. We appreciate it. For those that are tuned in and listening to the broadcast this morning and hearing about ASU hockey, maybe even for the first time, talk about where you guys practice and how you do hockey out here in the desert.
Well, that's the one perceived disadvantage that we've had as we've built our NCAA program is we have a not up to standard Division I facility. We practice and play our games at Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe.
Yeah.
We have a brand new 5,000 seat facility being built on campus that is projected to be done in 2021 that we can't wait for. That'll
now,
grow
Coach,
our
that's
program
going to be.
even
Is
more.
that going to be at the side of the old Karsten Golf Course, or?
It's there's a couple sites there. That's one of the final things they're deciding on. The two
Okay.
sites that they've thrown around the most are the solar powered lots next to Wells Fargo and then Packard, where the baseball stadium is. So
Got it.
so it's going in. It's not a matter of if anymore. It's more of a matter of when. But the projected opening date is still 2021. And in the meantime, we're making the most of what we have. A lot of people on the outside have made excuses for us when we elevated that we couldn't find success. They wouldn't have success playing at such a modest facility, but we use that to our advantage, and our guys really embrace our home, and we open up tonight, so we can't wait to get going.
And Coach, so I got online because I was curious. I had to see this. I haven't been to Oceanside Ice Arena yet. I want to go. I want to take my kids out there to see a game. But the only tickets that were available were they actually sold, James, believe it or not, standing room only seats. And
SRO.
these were not cheap seats. We're talking like, to me, I mean, cheap is like, $5 in the grass at Chase Field. These are $25. And you can't call them seats because it's standing room. Coach, you guys you're obviously doing something right if that's all you have left available over there.
Yeah, we're selling it. We sold out every game, and the nice thing, you could only stuff about 1,000 in there, and it's like sardines. But we're creating demand, and that's a good thing. As you grow a program from infancy at the level that we are, there's a lot of people that want to get into games that can't, and we don't like that. It's not something that we love, but we are creating demand for when we go into this new arena, and I think our success we're the fastest startup program in the history of Division I hockey to make the tournament last year, and just our third full year, and so I think people are excited about what we're doing, and hopefully they continue to be.
Tom, in
If I
our
could
final,
if I could
go
interject,
ahead, Tom. Yeah,
Coach, our club team played in Oceanside a week after it opened.
Yeah.
Tom, did you have a specific question, a technical question for Coach Powers here about his team?
Well, I'm looking at the schedule that you've got coming up, and I see you're visiting beautiful downtown Mankato next weekend, huh?
We are, yeah. We're excited. And they're a heck of a team. Minnesota State is
Minnesota State a consistent power, yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're ranked third in the country, and they returned 97% of their scoring from last year, and they were a 1 seed in the tournament. So they are going to be really good, and that'll be a tough trip for us.
Coach, you got your next two games. You're facing Mercyhurst tonight and tomorrow. What can you tell us about these guys?
Well, they have the longest-standing coach in Division I hockey, and Rick Godkin. He's an unbelievable guy. He's been around the block. He's seen it. And small school out of Erie, Pennsylvania, but have had success and been around a long time. And we're now getting adjusted as a program to now we have expectations, obviously internally and externally, of people want to see us and want to see us continue to win. We had a great year last year. So going into a season opener for the first time, deemed as kind of the favorite is a different feeling, and it's what you want. We want to live up to those expectations. So the thing about college hockey is everybody's good. There's only 60 Division I teams, so there's really not enough stalls for how many great players there are out there. So everybody's good. You can't take a night off. It's not like Division I basketball where there's over 300 teams and there's no such thing as cupcakes. So we got to be ready to play, and I think our guys are chomping at the bit. They're ready.
Coach, remind everyone what time face-off is tonight, and I noticed as well that you guys have a live stream where you can watch the game, too, where people could tune in and check out some ASU hockey. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. 7 o'clock tonight at Oceanside, and then tomorrow we do 3 p.m. at Oceanside. It's a rare Saturday-Sunday series.
Yeah.
Both games against Mercyhurst. All of our games at home are streamed for free on the Pac-12 network online, and anybody that's looking to get into hockey, I think if they came out and watched a game, they'd be really happy with what they saw.
I am really excited, Coach, to have you on to talk to you, and we're hoping that we can visit with you again frequently to basically check on the progress, how the team's doing. Obviously, we can log on and see scores and records and things, but to get your insight, to what's going on with the team and just the overall vibe of the schedule this year, we look forward to visiting with you again, hopefully real soon, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, absolutely, I'd love it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you, Coach Powers, ASU Sun Devil hockey coach Greg Powers. And this week's Super Fan of the Week, Mr. Tom Cross. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, and we'll be out in Carefree next week, so we'll have to have you back on in person with us. Folks, join us. Great show. We're coming back. We're going to have the HJCAC JUCO report after the break.
Stay tuned. JV Sports Show. We're live out here at Grand Canyon University Golf Course. Come by and say hey. We'll be right back after this.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
This is just something I like to call breakfast.
With big-name guests, timely sports information, and more on KTUS AM 1060.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk to you